Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel for another Warhammer 40,000 Imperium Magazine review. This week we are looking at issue 24 of the magazine. No savings this week guys, we get a couple of pots of paint, and compared to buying these individually, especially from third-party retailers, these two pots work out cheaper than the cost of the magazine. But I always say you get savings over the whole run, so it balances out. We are going to get issues where we don't get savings, and on top of that, yes, this comes to about £6, I think it is, £4.25 and £2.75, so £7. So we're only paying £2 for a magazine, which is your standard cost for a magazine these days that gets nothing with it. So yeah, the colours that we get a pot of non-oil shade oil or shade liquid, and if you're anything like me, you've got a really nasty looking Rakarth flesh. You can see it's all separated in there. Now if yours has come like this, I recommend giving it a good shake. If you get some small metal BBs, ball bearings, drop one in, make sure they are stainless steel so that they don't rust. Drop one in and give it a good shake. Give it a stir with a cocktail stick or something, and if none of that works, if you bought directly from Hatchet, get in touch with them and they will send out, or they should send out, a new issue. If your paint is dodgy, then they should replace it. But let's see what we can do with this quickly. So just going to give it a shake, and yeah, we can see it doesn't mix too bad. Some colours don't like to mix, but yeah, we can see that mixed lovely. So all back, so don't worry, they probably okay. So taking a look at the magazine, we get an introduction to the Tyranids, which are a completely alien race, as alien as you can expect them. They are monsters, creatures that like to just basically devour planets. They literally wipe everything clean and melt them down, absorb them back into the hive ships, and make new creatures out of the bioorganic mass that they make. Then we get painting with shade paints, so obviously learning how to use non-oil and things like that, and rules for playing missions for our first mission. So last week guys, I mentioned that missions and me filming them will be around issue 30 odd. I was wrong, it's actually issue 24. I was going to start putting issues together where we don't get models and do it like I've been doing before, where you'll have an extra magazine review this week and the model that came with that. However, to minimise how many videos I'm uploading each week, I know it's going to keep me behind a little bit, but anything where we get no models, it will be just this issue and a battle report using the missions that we get in Imperium. The idea for that is A, to judge how much you guys like how I'm doing the battle reports, and B, if you do like them, then it means that I know I can get away with, or be hopeful for, doing my channel battle reports focusing on combat patrol boxes. Yes, I will be playing one combat patrol box off against another and seeing how they play up against each other. I've already looked into some of the boxes that I've got, and points balance, they are completely uneven. Those combat patrol boxes do not make a 25 player level, and they do not make 500 points of models. They are usually over and unbalanced. So it will be interesting to see how they play off against each other. So if you're interested in that, let me know down in the comments. That will be in a month or so. I'm building up the battle boxes that I have ready for that. But if you'd like to check today's battle report using the first mission we get, check out the link in the corner. Aside from that, let's take a look at the magazine. So, Adeptus Mechanicus, weapon and war gear names. So as we've seen before, we're going to be rolling some dice or picking out what you want. and getting some war gear names on generator tables. Then we've got ranged weapons names and melee weapons names. And then the same for the Necrons. Necrons, degradations and grudges. So the minds and bodies of the Necrons have been deeply affected by hibernation, their minds degraded by the passage of time. Many have formed lasting grudges against those whom they perceive to have wronged them. So we now get to add grudges to our player cards, battle cards, whatever they are calling them. Then we got Necron's hero engrammatic degradations and physical degradations and losses table. So limbs crippled by chemical weaponry, or a necrodermis cracked by a phosphor weapon. So yeah, if you're into doing all this, if you're not, then we still get some good reading with some background stuff on these pages anyway. Then we've got a little bit to add to our factions section, focusing on the Tyranids. The Tyranids are alien in the truest sense of the word. They are motivated not by the purest of conquest or dominion over the galaxy, but by the urge to devour and survive. When their hive fleets descend, entire star systems are stripped of their nutrients and left as little more than barren, poisonous husks. So they literally strip everything right down to the smallest organism, and they turn it into a mucus that they send up great big chimneys that reach up to the hive ships, that then turn them into other warriors. Now the thing with Tyranids is they evolve. So if they come across a foe that is particularly difficult to beat, but they manage to beat them, if that foe has something interesting, such as wings, then their next lot of creations will have wings. They basically pick good stuff, leave out the bad stuff, and try and create new things, which leaves for some interesting units. A really fun army to collect, especially if you like melee. They are very heavily melee orientated. They do have weapons as well, ranged weapons, but a lot of Tyranid is to just get in there and chew shit up. So yeah, there we go. Then we got the how to paint Ultramarines details. So things like the purity seals and banners and things like that, using shades and Rakarth flesh that obviously we've got in this issue. Agrat's Earthshade obviously we've had before, and non-oil to use on metallic parts to give a nice shading. Recess shading and relayer. So it's always important once you shade something that you go over with the original paint, and you'll sort of pick off the flatter edges, but you'll leave those recesses darker, and this gives you a nice gradation from that shadow up into your original colour. And then there's the final gallery of the shaded Space Marines. Then we have tutorials. So again, I was wrong last week. We've been having data sheets, and on the back of those data sheets we've been having tutorials. So I thought that's how they were going to do it. But no, we actually are going to get a tutorial section, which is nice because it goes into a lot more detail than they would have been able to fit on the back of a page maybe. But yeah, so we've got a little bit on objectives here and victory points, and obviously how to claim objectives, when we claim them, and how you get victory points for holding objectives and accomplishing things within missions. So here they show about controlling objectives, and that is, if you can hear the printer going in the background, that is what I am now printing off. I am printing for my Dark Angels some Dark Angels objective markers. Now these were test ones, they didn't come out too great, As you can see, the surface layer didn't print overly smooth. We got a little bit of a gap, but that was just the first test run as I'm refining the printer, and hopefully this next lot comes out good. But yeah, some objective markers, pretty cool. And then how to score victory points. So obviously tallying up how many points you have per objective held, how much you earn in the game for destroying units and such. Missions will describe how you earn victory points for a specific mission. Then we've got some advanced rules. So we've got mission instructions, how to muster your armies, read the mission briefing, create the battlefield. So this is the steps that you would take when creating a mission, right through to begin the battle, ending the battle, and determining the victor. And then objective markers, again, advanced rules on them, and objectives secured, which is something that the majority of Space Marines have. Then we've got a mission pack. So this is nice that they're including this. Now in the core rulebook for Warhammer 40,000, we get missions within that, and they are usually just search and destroy missions, claim a certain objective and things like that. So these mission packs are ones that are not in the core book, which gives us extra missions. Now, if you're really into playing missions, they do mission books as well that you can buy from Games Workshop and third-party retailers. But Games Workshop, they do mission books that focus on certain regions of space, and then they have extra missions and objectives and stuff like that in there. But yeah, essentially a mission pack is basically the mission that you play through for your particular game. So I just go through the top bit here. So Cephos, the third moon of the gas giant Gliantha, is the military heart of the Ramesses system. Beset on all sides by Necron invaders, a combined force of Ultramarines and Adeptus Mechanicus are all that stands between the invading Xenos and the complete destruction of Cephos' key shipyards, weapons platforms and communication centres. So this battle is featuring the Necrons, the Space Marines and the Adeptus Mechanicus, apparently anyway. So we've got the scout mission rules. So everything here is what we need for the mission, and let's have a look. Determining the victor. At the end of the battle, both players check their mission objective to determine who is the victor. So Cypher recovery. So the objective for the Necrons Royal Warden is to secure the battlefield. So the Necron Royal Warden and his patrol have observed the Space Marines searching the corpses of the fallen. Whatever the foes seek, he and his warriors must locate and secure it before the Space Marines. Should his forces be able to completely annihilate the Space Marine foes, all the better. And the Librarian is basically doing the same thing, but obviously he's looking for something specific. Then we got the Scout mission. So this is the mission on how to set it up and refer to the rules reference. So the forces in play are 10 Necron warriors, 3 Scarab swarms, 1 Royal Warden for the Necrons, and for the Ultramarines, or whichever army you are using, we have a Librarian and 3 aggressors. So no Adeptus Mechanicus, but I'm assuming we'll get that in the upcoming issues. So we used the mat from issue 18, the front, which is the one that shows the terrain that we'll be getting. We aren't using any terrain here, so it's just a flat open battlefield, and the Necron deployment zone is 3 inches along the short edge. So obviously we get a long edge and a short edge. You get 3 inches deep on the short edge for each army, and the centre of the battlefield is a single objective. And obviously you score the objective as described in the mission briefing at the beginning. And the map size of this is 30 by 22, which is fine for an army of this size. And then typically combat patrols, you'll be doing a 30 by 44, so essentially another map here. So 2 mats, and then larger games, obviously you'll double up the mats. Now on the inside back cover here, we actually have some victory point tokens, which is nice. So rather than keeping score on a sheet, you can say, oh, well, you scored 3 victory points this round, and you get, here's your victory points. Obviously, you can also assign them as green for Imperium, red for Necrons, or however you want. But yeah, that's a nice little cutout there. So obviously, savings are up on your screen now, or losses, if you want to look at it that way. But yeah, no saving this week because of what we got and obviously the cost of the magazine. Next week though, we get issue 25, which has the Necron Immortals, Read About Forge Worlds, and Immortals rules and tutorials. Now the sprue for Immortals is actually a 2-in-1 sprue. The Immortals themselves have a 2-weapon option. You can set them all up with Gauze blasters, I believe it is, and fusion blasters. One or the other for the whole squad. They have to have the same. But the sprue also comes with optional or an alternative build where we can build, instead of Immortals, we build, if I can remember the name of them, I never remember the name of them, but they are snipers essentially. They come with sniper rifles and different heads. Now the instructions in issue 25 will not show you how to build those guys because they are telling you to build the Necron Immortals. If you are following along, then obviously use that. If you want to build the other ones, then you can find them online. However, we do get another set of these models in a later issue, and from the original image of what we will be getting over the entire collection, it did actually show the other models. It showed 5 of these guys and 5 of the other ones. So the issue that we get later on will actually show you the instructions on how to build the other 5. So if you are wanting the other guys instead of these, but only 5 of them, you're going to get them in a later issue, so you don't need to worry about building them now. If you want 10 of these, then obviously you will build these 5 as these, the next 5 as these. If you want 10 of the others, then you can either find the instructions online to build these guys as those guys, or wait until we get the other one and build all 10 of them as those guys. Just bear in mind you won't be able to use these in the missions if you're playing through, because you won't have them. But I will upload a video when it comes to these guys on how to use the leftover parts with any spare Necron warriors you have to make your own alternatives. So essentially you can get 10 of these guys and 10 of the snipers using 10 warriors and the remaining parts of these. So yes, you have to sacrifice warriors, but if you bought enough copies earlier on of 10 warriors, then yeah, you'll have the models to do it. Oh, Epoch Cam disconnected from Wi-Fi, so I hope that didn't do anything for you guys. Okay, so moving on, we got issue 26 the week after, and that gives us our Tech Priest Dominus. We learn secrets of the Tech Priest and the Tech Priest tutorial. And this one is a really cool model. I can't wait to get this one and paint him up for you guys. Well, and for me, but yeah, he's a pretty cool looking model. Anyway, that is all for now. That's the end of the issue. If you have enjoyed the video, as always, hit that thumbs up button. If you've not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And if you have recently subscribed, a huge warm welcome to you. Welcome to the inner circle. But until next time, guys, that's all for now. So take it easy and keep painting those minis.